right, gentlemen, welcome, gentlemen, ladies, I guess. Welcome to Professional Goblins Podcast. I'm Scott Gladstein, and with me today is my co-host,
Mike.myler.
And joining us today is
Alex Shanks-Abel.
Fantastic. Sorry about the intermittent logging in today, guys. There was a bit of a problem on my end with our software, but otherwise, I think we're ready to go, guys. What do you think?
I think so.
Maybe. Not a seer. I don't know the future.
Yeah, I mean, we could totally screw up once again, but that's the excitement of doing this live. Ooh, boy.
Something Murphy's Law.
Oh, yeah. So, today I don't think we're doing a review, are we, Mike?
We don't. Robert never got us anything, so instead I was just going to say that I'm going to Origins. I'm excited, and if you're going to be there, let me know. I'll be there Friday from, 11 in the morning until probably about 11 at night, and then we're going to drive back. Columbus is only 3.5 hours from Pittsburgh, so yeah.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Origins, and I might do Gen Con. I'm going to find out if I'm doing Gen Con at Origins.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a number of people are considering Origins over Gen Con, since Gen Con's been exploding lately.
Yeah, dude. Last year was insane, and the year before that, I was like, oh, I can't possibly get any bigger than this. And the year before that, I was like, oh my god, what's happening? So, yeah. I don't know, if I do Gen Con, it's going to be because someone's, paying me per DM and driving me out there and stuff, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I just went last year, and that was easily a good year of money. I won't say poured down the drain, but pretty close to that.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, man, you drop a cool, amount of money on that every year, and unless you're making that back there, it's pretty hard, and especially with as hard it is to get tables.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't too surprised when they turned down me after I found out they turned down John from the SRD.
Oh, the getting booths at Gen Con's insane. They have they unsurprisingly have this really gamey system, the way you go about it, and seniority and being there in previous years is all the difference.
Oh, really?
You can't join up for booths, because I think it's max 2 companies to a booth, and you have to pay extra for it, and it's nuts. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah. But the dealer's room at Gen Con is insane, so yeah.
That's how a lot of cons are, though. Phoenix Comic Con does the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can't, if you don't have a booth in the previous year, you go into a lottery sometimes.
Yeah, that's
I
think Gen Con has a lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't base your business on it, because you never had...
And load-in...
Roll D6!
I've had to do load-in before, and it's... how long did we wait? I want to say it was a 2.5-hour affair to load in a TV and maybe 10 boxes.
We did...
should have been 5 minutes.
But so we did a Gamma one year, Gamma Trade, and that was a nightmare. That's a story for another day. But we got in because they had some super cheap lotto system you can get in for indie companies, and I was like, all right, we'll put our name in there. And we didn't find out until a month before that we were going.
Jeez,
and we're like, all right, guys, we're putting all the money in, and oh god, Doug get covered. Oh, hi, Kirk. How you doing, buddy? My dog wants to
So I guess a little bit for my sake, and maybe for other third-party people that are listening in, do you guys have general guidelines that you do for determining which con is worth trying to go to and which one is maybe too small to go to?
Well,
I guess finding the balance between huge and tiny.
PaizoCon is a great place to go if you want to do Pathfinder, but it's all the way in Seattle, so for me it is an enormous expense to go, because I have to go across the entire freaking country. But if you want to work for Paizo, or if you want to get into third-party stuff with Pathfinder, that's where that's a good place to go. Wizards is a little weird, because they've been we're kind of fucking abandoning cons. There'll be Adventurers League stuff, and that's it. They're not a Gen Con anymore, which is crazy.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, dude, right? I was I kept expecting to turn and see Lulf there, and she just wasn't.
So, Mike, I think it's something to do with what you're talking about, how it's kind of become a branding exercise, and what do they care?
Yeah. So if you're trying to do 5th ed third party, that's rough. If you're trying to do indie, actually I think the best place to go, Gen Con is not bad. but it's a huge sea of people. If you're trying to do indie, I would go to Metatopia in. I know it's a garbage dump, but in New Jersey. I think it's.
Beautiful.
I didn't hear that.
One of the ones I would suggest is go to your local con. I know that sounds bad, but I know that's not a really specific thing. But if they're small, I don't care if it has 50 people, I don't care if it has 200 people. Go get it. If it doesn't cost you much,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Worst that happens is, oh darn, I got exposure, and I spent a day playing games with people.
I ended up getting one of my favorite artists when I was doing like reporting for TokoshoCon, which is an anime convention, and I didn't even meet the artist. I met his dad, and his dad was like, "Oh, my son does drawings. You want to see?" And I like looked, and I was like, "Okay, these aren't bad, you know. Like, what's and he's like, "Oh, he's about to graduate high school and stuff." And like, here I am 4 years later, and I paid this kid thousands of dollars for art. You know, like
That's how it always works.
To watch him get better is amazing too, because he's, all the other artists are jealous of how fast he's getting better. But go to local cons, even if it's just to meet artists and other fellow creative folk in the area.
Yeah, any particular chance that either of you live roughly close to Texas? I just moved here somewhat recently, and I have zero idea what's around here.
Oh,
I'm in Arizona.
Okay.
What's it called? Winter Fantasy? Yeah, Winter Fantasy. That's up in Missouri or something. It's generally in the Midwest towards the south part. I remember that. I think. Maybe not. I could be remembering that entirely wrong.
Well, certainly closer than Seattle or New Jersey.
Yes, definitely closer than Seattle, New Jersey. It's just going to be straight shot north for you. I mean, I don't know. Arizona's not that far away from Texas.
It's only 2 states, but
Yeah.
those are still 2 massive states.
Yeah, it only takes 10 hours to go from one end of Texas to the other,
Yeah.
the short way.
But we have PCC, Phoenix Comic-Con, which is that big one. They have a gaming room. There's a few other ones. There's one I didn't even know existed called Crit Hit, and apparently they had like a whole room. I was like,
Sounds more like a British sport than a con.
I know, right? Anyway, you guys wanna move on to the first topic?
Yeah. I'll
Sure,
let
but it's a
it
little too bad you guys aren't doing reviews. I mean, I brought my horse head and everything.
Oh my God, really?
Oh man!
Oh my God,
You should
really?
have told us, and we
To
would
be
have.
just practicing on my horse
review.
voice all day, but listening to horse videos.
Oh,
All right, so
We
at
can
the
move
end,
on.
you have like a 10-minute, like a segment at the end where you can do something. You better do it with the horse head on.
Okay. Yeah, I have seen a lot of horses cooking in my life, so I'll be sure to do that one.
they have a refined palate.
A large palate that counts for something.
So anyway, guys, our first segment here today, I guess second technically, is we're talking about our favorite character, either that we've played or someone else has played in a game we're currently in, or barring that, a lesson we've learned, kind of a story, either the GM or a player, where we learned a lesson. So either of you guys want to go first?
I'll let Mike go ahead.
Yeah. Well, first let's get the honorable mention for Fringe and the rest of her adventuring party, because one of the dudes in my group illustrates his gaming groups, so he illustrated our party, and Fringe is freaking awesome. Although I thought there was not enough blood and poop, so I added blood and poop to her.
Mike, do you have that image available somewhere?
It's in the Professional Goblins document under.
Right there. I will grab that and put it up on the screen for you.
Folded.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen a character portrait with poop on it recently.
You're
So I'd
missing
love
out.
to check that out.
That is.
Oh yeah, dude, she's awesome. And in the group portrait, you can see her bag of intestines because she's an artificer, but I didn't want her to be like a technological artificer, so she's like a Cronenberg artificer. Yeah.
Right on.
That is the whole group there. That is
Well,
pretty cool.
Yeah. And then what the dogs were before she got her own actual walking chicken hut. She had a dog sled. She put a dog house on, and then just like bags of fat to grease the rails.
That's really gross.
And then just like a dozen dogs that yeah, of course. Shout out the So yeah, Fringe is awesome. But no, I wanted to talk about Sir Corbus Dashh. So when I play D&D 5e, I'd like to use the "Who the fuck is my D&D character generator," which I'm sure we are all familiar with.
Of course.
Yeah, like I've had some amazing characters from that. So this one was like a somber half-elf paladin guy. So I made Sir Corbus Dashh, and I decided he was like formerly an orphan and like schemed his way into being a knight of Termish, because Termish was like the furthest place away from where the party was. So if anybody was going to find out, you know. And I did good, and I tried to play like a noble knight, which is a little bit against my play style. And he got just TPK'd in 5e by the rule of numbers. Because for some reason the GM was like, oh, it says 15 orcs in this random encounter. We've only got 3 adventurers today, but yeah, 15 orcs doesn't sound so bad. And then, yeah, it was like 1 round.
I've learned that knights have a knack for dying quickly. So you never have to worry too much about developing a story when you're rolling up a knight.
Well, it's just too bad. He had just like met this knight lady, this dame, and totally banged her, and was going to get into actual knighthood by marrying her, right? Like proper royalty, before anyone realized his ruse. And then the next day, literally the next day, he's cut down by a horde of orcs. Like,
that sounds poetic.
Yeah. I shouldn't have named him Sir Corbus Dashh. I should have named him like Brent Knightley or something, and then it would have been even more mundane. And yeah, I don't know. I and this time, instead of doing the random character, I looked at all the different stuff, because I was like, okay, well, we need a spellcaster because we don't have a full spellcaster, and we're getting. So I just looked around at the sorcerer things until I found one I liked, which was the shadow one, which you get to like summon a hound, which is pretty cool. It's like a spectral hound that, like, you know, attacks people. And then you get dark vision, and I hate playing characters without dark vision because it's just annoying. Yeah. Yeah.
Turns out a torch can often ruin the element of surprise.
Oh, yeah.
And I intend to make him very silly and, like, try to convince people that his shadow magic is, like, shadow puppetry. Right? So it's like, oh, he's a shadow mage. And I'll be like, yes, watch! And then light a torch and then make, like, hand puppets on the wall. Yeah.
Very fun.
On the sly about my evil magic. And that's my story. This is what I'm playing now.
So, Alex, you got something?
Yeah, that's a little bit difficult. I'm currently in 5 so-called weekly games.
Oh, wow.
But it's more like 4.5 tri-weekly games. But I suppose if I had to go with somebody, I would have to go with Mr. Doc, Professor, Commissioner, Deputy, Captain Dennis Legrand. His friends call him Boots.
This is how you name a character like that.
Well, it's something that gets a new title every 3 sessions.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah. He's the captain of a specific spacefaring game that may or may not be coming out somewhat soonish.
We would have no idea what that's called at all. So.
No. He was somebody he's the captain of the Cabalero, formerly known as the Plantation Station, and well, I don't often draw inspiration from random generator stuff. Usually I'm able to get a good amount of inspiration just by driving around in the South. And on our way to Houston, Texas, when we were moving here, we passed by a small town in Louisiana with a billboard with just a giant boot on it. And the sign was for getting boots on the ground. It's for Commissioner Dennis Boots Legrand, and just your very typical, like, my name's Dennis Boots Legrand, and let's get those boots on the ground. And so I decided to roll him up as a Western captain that embodies just about everything that I hate, which makes it a lot of fun when he gets a grenade to the face.
Cathartic.
Yeah.
I should mention this. I talked about this last week, but like this 5e group that I'm in loves to kill or betray my characters.
Yep.
So far, they're up to like 5 or 6. So I just stopped making characters that I was very fond of, and I was just like, we'll just make random characters, and then I'll become fond of them, and then you can kill them off.
Awesome. Empathy makes it
tired of
better
it.
or worse.
Yeah, I found that making hateable characters is way easier too. It's a lot easier to channel that which you hate.
I retired priest Cletus Longtoe, who was, of course, a proselytizer of Jeebus Crisp, before they could kill or betray him, because I was like, I want this one back at some point.
No, keep him over here.
It was like a halfling that worships a dead god, and his cult's gone 100 years now. And, oh yeah, I could do this. And he carries around the holy Bible, and yeah. I get you with the hating character part. It can be very fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So you were mentioning titles. My most, I will say, famous or infamous character is Madkill. I found his character sheet recently.
Sounds like Lazerface.
He is Madkill, scion of... You're talking about titles. So he was Lord Madkill, scion of Madkill Kilmad the Elder. And then he had some other titles, but he was an Orc Lord and stuff like that. But so I found his
that
character
wasn't
sheet.
a battle cry.
I can't stop thinking of like Rocket Raccoon responding to this dude's name.
Yeah, Taserface.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I remember, Mike, you didn't like that movie very much.
I mean, there were occasional moments where what I assume was the original script did not get mucked with by contract negotiations between agents.
So, so my story this week is
Watch.
I actually have a game I played recently, and it is a game we played for a few weeks on some playtest material, but it had a plot and everything, and it was this is the story of the really positive cleric, or RPC. RPC, he had some name. I don't remember what it was. He was a pre-made, but I just had him as a cleric, and he was chaotic good. But you know, there's normally like lawful stupid. He was good stupid. Really positive cleric was really positive about everything. Like when the dragon hit the other guys, he'd be like, "Great job! I can see you're really improving," and was just great about everything. He's like, "Oh, you picked that lock so well," and they're like, "You hate me breaking rules." Yeah, but you did a great job. I can see that you've really put some effort into that skill. And he's just being so nice the entire time. We get into this room, and there's a collector. It's a thing coming out in a book. And it goes, "Oh, I see the... guys, there's like a torch in the room. There's some undead beyond that. There's some... They look like skeletons. They're kind of clanking. I mean, not sure how you guys didn't see them." And the cleric just sits there, and he's like, he's really positive. And he goes, "Did you say undead?" And they just all looked at him like... and then one of them looks at him and goes, "Wait, your character sheet says you're a woman." And he just goes, "I sexually identify as an undead killing machine." In round one, he books it up to the center of like 5 or 6 skeletons. There's like one square where he could have made it in, and he makes it in. Because he went before them. And he drops a channel positive energy and knocks them all down to like half HP. And I'm just like, yeah. And then they go. And they one-round him. They don't, not even, he just like runs up, he's like, "I'm a sexual identify as an undead killing machine," runs up, blah, and then just gets beat down. And just dropped, and just like contribute to nothing for the rest of the massively over-rolled fight. Like there were 3 of us, and we were talking about rolling too many things. We rolled, I think, like 8 or 9 skeletal champions, maybe it was more than that, and we had like 3 of us. Plus including the cleric, so there was 2 of the players trying to fight down 8 of them. So we finally were just like, "You know that random rogue or ranger you guys had with you?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "He's here now." So they fought that. They fought a hag, and then they fought a little black, a black dragon. Was like we were CR6, so I think it's a young black dragon in Pathfinder, and the cleric keeps healing everybody because he's really positive and just loves everyone. And he keeps healing everyone, including the dragon, because he doesn't have selective channel. And they're like, "We dealt 12 damage and you healed him for 11. I'm like, "But he only dealt 8 and I healed you for all of it."
And
So
you're doing a great job, guys.
Yeah, he was just like, "No, guys, I really appreciate the effort you're putting in. I can see you guys are really struggling. Let me give you a hand." You're like, "No, wait!" But they convinced him to stop after a while. But yeah, really positive cleric is just my favorite character now. I want to run him in a few more games. Just like giving thumbs up to
I
the
might
bad
have to
guys.
steal the idea myself.
Oh, by all
like a lot of
means,
fun.
by all means.
Yeah.
I think I might
I'd
make
really
him a
positive
warlock.
paladin too at one point, but he wasn't quite that good.
You couldn't heal the enemy as effectively as a paladin.
Yeah, but it was more because the setting was like very abstract. It was like, you guys are now D&D characters in a game world, and I'm like, I wrote a legit
kind of
history
thing.
for this guy. He's a folk hero, is 5th ed D&D, and
I
he's
feel like a
and there was like absolute definable good and evil mob, like MMO stuff, and it was like,
no.
he couldn't really work so well.
I think I might do that as a warlock, and then have him like lie to people, and then be like, "Your trusting, your willingness to trust others does you credit." And,
just kill him with kindness, literally.
yeah, go all rogue warlock on it. Yeah, I think I might do that.
Oh man, I gotta next month. I told the story. I'm not for today. Mike, did I tell a story about the 4th ed where I had the cleric who was actually a rogue? If not, that'll come up next week.
That sounds like a thing you could do in 4th ed, though.
It was.
All right. Well, what are we doing? Favorite working project.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. This guy finally came out, but not the D&D 5e version, but the which Alex has, and we'll talk about briefly. But the Shadow of the Demon Lord version just came out today, the PDF anyway. So
No, it's an alright book.
yeah, it's an alright book.
You
Yeah.
think it's okay?
Does it feel like a 1980s trauma movie?
Yeah, if a 1980s promo movie was very dark and sinister.
Oh, trauma. It's a. Don't worry about it. I'm making fun of Robert Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I actually only spent a week converting it, and then I got a lot of help from Demon Lord people who were like, "You did this way, and it could be done this way better, and within line the other rules, and also this rule exists over here in this book, and so on and so forth." So, yeah, I spent 2 months polishing up the copy, 3 months, and I put it in layout, and then I couldn't get back to it because it wasn't like it wasn't a job like I had money for. It was something I did. I converted it over Christmas and New Year's, just because I wanted to have it done. And yeah, and I'm just happy to get it out. And it's perfect
Right
for
on.
Shadow of the Demon. Yeah, I don't know, pretty stoked.
For you guys who don't know what he's talking about, it's Mist of Akuma conversion for Shadow of the Demon Lord.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mist of Akuma. It's Eastern fantasy noir steampunk. So think like Ravenloft plus Warhammer 40k plus Afro Samurai, and you're there.
All good things.
Right on.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I don't know, I finished writing an adventure for it the other week too, which is another thing I just squeeze in. And I'm really stoked because I got to get the artwork for I want to pronounce it right. Ericotera Warriors, which are my hobgoblins, are basically Space Marines in Silverin. They don't go into space, but they wear augmentic armor and stuff.
Nice.
And yeah, yeah, I was really happy to finally I've been wanting to make that art order since we did the book, because I only figured out that's what the hobgoblins were near the end of the layout process. Because I just they're militaristic, and I just had them in the background, and I was like, oh my god, that's right, I could do this and that. No, but it was way too late to get an art order for it, so I had to wait until I could work one into the story and so on.
Yeah. And then try to not ruin all of the layout by inserting a tiny piece of art.
Oh yeah, that never
Yeah.
happened.
And you saw the book's layout. I'm crazy about my layout.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. But yeah. And in the Shadow of the Demon Lord version, I actually got to use way more art because his stat blocks are really tiny in their formatting size. It's size 8 text and stuff.
Ooh.
So yeah, the last Void Dragon page just has 3 dragons swirling around the stat block.
That's cool.
Yeah. What else we got? Who's next?
Alex, you want to go?
Yeah, sure, why not? So a book that we're gonna get rolling real soon here is Imaginary Friends, and this is gonna be more on the cute side of things. Basically, we're gonna be hiring about 5 or 6 writers that are parents of young children who are going to get their kids to basically turn in a little kid drawing or whatever of some sort of imaginary monster that they drew, and then their parents are gonna stat out the imaginary monster.
I love it.
And
This is very cool.
and basically have like a stat out like a base form for this creature to basically be this thing that protects a kid. And all of the base forms are going to be the same, except augmented by the child's age a little bit. But then we'll let the child's parents basically have stat blocks for what it does when it goes into effectively rage mode, if you will. So,
Nice.
you know, like if the kid wants to do a praying mantis with 50 heads or anything like that, and basically as a way to reward kids for having more extravagant and weird ideas. So a kid who just imagines a koala bear, no offense to Australians, but you know, it wouldn't be that tough versus some weird kaiju thing. Yeah.
That's an awesome idea, man.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of be moving our company more towards quirky, cutesy stuff. So we're gonna try to dip our toe into making sort of more kid-centric stuff.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. And that's about all I know from it right now.
Do you know who your artists are going to be?
I mean, little kids, clearly.
Yeah, the children.
Oh, you're not going to have like a professional artist take their kid drawing and make it into
Well, part of the reason we thought up this idea was trying to think of what we could do with a really low art budget. And yeah, we're trying to make this a series that uses mostly like 1800s public domain bicycle pictures, if you will, and or stuff that, I don't know, I guess kid drawings is one idea.
Okay.
So,
Not the kids, so we don't get in trouble with child labor laws.
so one thing I know, weird spare time thing I do, is I go hunt through public domain and Creative Commons stuff. I posted something about it the other day too, but I've been doing it for years. I have like shit I once I have that project for it, I'm just like, guys, I have art, like Jack Holiday level art here, I'm going to put in this book from the public domain. But that's a hobby I do, so literally some of our books, you're like, oh, that's some gorgeous artwork. I'm like, yeah, I totally got that for $0. I spent literally 4 hours on Sunday sorting and getting stuff. I got a bunch of stuff today, which
That's
actually
awesome.
kind of leads me into... I guess I'll talk about that.
Mhm.
So, this is a project we're not officially working on yet, because we're not allowed to officially work on it yet. We're working on a utopian sci-fi setting. Think very like... I know it's not quite as utopian, but think like Babylon 5, Star Trek, kind of exploration stuff. We did a bit of it with Pioneer, but...
Just kind of going with that thing I saw you post a while ago about how you wanted to move away from the easy, dark stuff that everybody's doing.
Yep. We're looking at... it's going to be D20. We're pretty sure. We're about 75% sure. We want to do it for Starfinder. It might be a Starfinder and something else setting, but we want to have that book out before we officially work on that. But most of the mechanics are worked out, and most of the infrastructure and a lot of the art assets are done. It is going to be bonkers when it's done, but it's basically a D20 system that doesn't focus on combat. Combat provides you very little reward.
So are you going to be making basically new classes, like basically building that from the ground up, or are you still going to try to work with like, okay.
It has its own advancement system, kind of. There's effectively one class. There might be broken out into other ones, but I'm pretty sure we're just sticking with the way you do it. It's going to be like, that's why I said it's going to be much more D20 than it's going to be, I can literally go, Pathfinder, you know what I mean? But seeing how Starfinder does a few things, we might adjust things to fit in there and do that. But skills, which are being reworked, and knowledges and everything, are going to be much more of a thing. Like, they're going to have tangible effects on a regular basis, and solving problems with those skills on a regular basis, like on a turn-by-turn basis, is going to be a thing.
So not just winning somebody's favor from a single diplomacy roll.
Oh, totally. No, there's a lot of stuff with that. There's a lot more focus on ship and cooperative play. Like, just by having certain people in certain positions on a ship, it actually deals a lot with, like, hierarchies and whatever. You get certain bonuses, so you want someone in the diplomatic department because, hey, they get this bonus where they can ignore this big penalty that everyone else would normally have if you have a player character in there. Because, you know, on a show like Star Trek, if there's no medical officer who's a character, oh my god, medical's dead, you know? Doesn't matter if they're the nurse, it's just the players have a lot of agency in it. And we have some really cool, like, deck layouts and stuff we're doing, like, very in-depth. We have some really cool artwork. A lot of it's public domain, some of it's not. But yeah, it's something me personally, I've been working on within our studio. People have been commenting on it, but I have docs and docs and docs, and once Starfinder comes out, it'll be a conversion we're working on. And I really wanted to see the utopian sci-fi, you don't need to shoot every alien you see. That's the bad result, is if you go, guys, we done fucked up and we pissed off everyone. Oh god, oh god, oh god, we could probably die. This is the roll to stabilize instead of roll to kill something, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, that sounds super cool. Do you have like a current blog or something that discusses that? Because I've been totally looking for like kind of a peaceful RPG, if you will.
Not presently.
Okay.
I talk about it on here. But I actually did an AMA on Ask Me Anything on Reddit for a bit on a world building site, and I couldn't talk about it that much because I didn't want to. This is the first time I'm talking about it in public, I think. But it'll be a lot of fun. It would actually work really well as its own system, but I kind of want to toss it into the D20 because it would be more accessible to people, I think.
Yeah. I think people are more likely to check out something if it has that compatibility logo on it,
Yep.
for better or worse.
Yeah. A lot of times people don't get the difference between designing for yourself and designing for an audience. And sometimes that means designing for a system that maybe isn't perfect for it, but hey, guess what? It'll get people able to read it, able to play it, likely to read it, likely to play it. So, I don't know, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the toughest decisions you have to make when you're designing either a subsystem or a setting, is to be like, well, do we build things from the bottom up? Do we go with something that's kind of lesser known, like the gumshoe system or whatever, or do we just throw it in with Starfinder or Pathfinder and work it out convolutedly just because we know that there's, I'm just throwing out a number, but 10 times the audience for Pathfinder stuff.
Yeah, that was one of the issues we had when we converted over Necropunk. When we wrote the Necropunk rules was, so we want to do this idea, or here, we want to do this idea over here, but Pathfinder is a fantasy setting. We want to do a biotech sci-fi diplomacy-focused future with living machines and this and that, and we're going to convert all the starship rules and all of this, and it was really like trying to like fit a square peg into a round hole, but it worked out pretty well, actually. We got a lot of positive feedback on the mechanical implementation, which I thought was fun.
Okay, sorry. We just the Book of Exalted Darkness just funded, and I had to do stuff.
Woo!
Right on.
Hell yeah, Mike! You guys, we did this on air. Remember that. This is legendary, man. It funded while we were on air. Congrats, Mike. You can eat for the next 6 months, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a bit much.
I'll eat for a little bit.
Next
most
week,
of that
at
money is
least.
actually going to Indy Martin and other people.
Oh, wow.
Indy gets the biggest chunk of money by far. Because I'm going to order so much fucking dope-ass art, you have no idea. Oh, it's going to take like a 2-hour meeting just for her and I to settle on how much and where. And yeah, I'm very, very, very excited about it. Because she is so good. I can ask her to do anything, and she can do it, which is amazing. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, all right, sorry.
No, man,
Yeah,
that's
I didn't
awesome.
mean to go mute, but like I had to do it immediately. All right.
So
You
yeah,
guys were talking about subsystems and many other things.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, hopefully you had the We Funded update already to go.
I do not, but I will do it as soon as the show is over.
Awesome, man.
I did tweets and shares and all that stuff, though.
So our next topic is favorite new project that is not yours.
Not mine.
Not yours. Mike, I know you want to talk about yours. You can talk about that again in the Kickstarter section.
Yeah. Well, the one I want to talk about is kind of mine, but that's kind of what I want to talk about because it's like, all right. So another Kickstarter from a couple years ago called the What's Old is New Kickstarter did very well. Is done by Ian World and Russ Morrissey, and at one point he was asking people like, what should I do for stretch goals? And I was like, you should hire me to write this thing to go in the middle of your old and new, and we'll call it Now. It'll be about modern, like, action RPGs kind of stuff. And we settled on, like, 1980s style, A-Team, Super Spies, Street Vigilantes, martial arts.
Cool.
Yeah, so I pounded out the manuscript. Like, I did a whole bunch of research. Actually, that was one of the coolest parts. And I worked in stuff that you never see in other RPGs, like Pancration, which is the like... Come again. Yeah, it's...
What'd you just call me?
Pankration. Pancration. It was, what's the guy? Cleopatra, I weep because there were no more lands yet to conquer. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was supposed to invent it. It was a martial art used in the Roman era to basically wrestle. But it had this really important part where, like, at the start of the fight, you had to be very wary of somebody kicking you, like, directly in the gut. And, like, there's a bunch of moves just all about opening up with a kick to the gut. Yeah, so I did a lot of research and stuff like that, and I made martial arts systems and all this stuff. And then he spent like 2 years playtesting the core systems that all my stuff was based off of. Mm-hmm. So, and like I've seen the stuff that he's doing, and my, I can still definitely see where I was and what's been changed. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to like, because it was a huge freaking project. It was like 100,000 words. It was a core system.
Wow.
It was ambitious. And it's exciting and weird to see, like, okay, well, obviously this worked out and you like this, and okay, well, that went away. I kind of felt that way about that. I'm not that surprised, but yeah, it's really fun, and I don't know. I didn't think it was going to take that long and change that much when I turned it in. Otherwise, I would have like waited to turn it in.
Related to that martial art. So I was studying, I did Jeet Kune Do for a while, and they had a lot of Kali in it. And there's a sub-style within Kali, the name translates to like, it means with a K, it translates to biting and pinching. It is an art entirely based around like biting people, and like where you can bite them and what part of your teeth and stuff. Like, how do you chew through a man's nipple? How do you bite off a man's eyebrow? Like, ears. Here's how, are they delicious? And apparently, like, they practice by, like, eating, like chewing steak and stuff. Like, raw steak. And I'm like, oh, my God. That's gross.
Crazy.
Wonderful.
I remember I used to, like, sometimes read the Kung Fu magazines and stuff. Mm. And there was this dude, and it really interested me because, like, legitimately new styles of Kung Fu are pretty hard to come by at this point, man. It's been, like, 6,000 years. But this guy, I guess, he was, like, a messenger when he was a kid. And he just like roll around the streets and just punch the wall all day, all day. And now he's got these huge calluses. He's got his own martial arts style, which is basically make your fucking fists into brass knuckles of skin. But yeah, I was like, whoa.
They're called scuckles, skin knuckles.
Awesome.
Scuckles.
Yeah, dude.
That's gross.
I was like, that's hardcore. That's how you are making a statement when you decide to do that. Like, I wouldn't fuck with that guy.
Look at my hands. They are made of man meat. They resemble nothing so much as gorilla's paws.
These will destroy you. Yeah. Yeah, like I wouldn't normally take somebody seriously if they were like, this is thunder and this is lightning. But if that dude did it, I'd be like, shit. I am not going to be here for the storm.
Alex, you disconnected, buddy. I think you're going to refresh.
Refresh. Yeah, I don't know. Like, from the game design standpoint, it is really neat to watch the synthesis of everything go through on such a huge project, and like, yeah, seeing what sticks and what doesn't. And he had a huge playtest.
So favorite project, because Alex is taking a breather, I guess. I'll talk about what I got. So something kind of cool. I don't know if you've ever seen Dungeon Painter Studio. It was on a website for a long time.
Not.
It basically is a cartography software.
Yeah.
And they moved it over to Steam, and they actually developed like a whole program. And I actually took a look at it today. I bought it. It's like $15 or something. Oh, dude, it is awesome. I mean, it's really like simple, but like you can add your own assets and everything really simply. You can toss things. It's awesome. That's why I'm doing a lot of layouts for our stuff now, or I plan to make a bunch of maps with it. But literally, you can just like that, man. It does walls. It does different types of ground. They have like all these built-in assets and everything.
How much
is
does it
commercially
cost?
used. $15.
How much?
15.
15.
15.
Okay.
And yeah, it's like it's $15. I mean, you can add your own assets to it really easily. That's what I was doing right before we came on. Actually, I'm like, oh shit, I turn all of it off. But it's just really interesting to like just play around with. It's so robust, so easy to use. Like if you know how to use like Illustrator or InDesign, you're just gonna be like that.
Okay.
And
I don't know. I've gotten really good at using Paint.net to make maps.
No, I'm not saying like you can't do like keep doing that. But this is a super simple tool. I'm just like I made a map in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Now I would probably need to polish that for another hour or two before I was happy with it. But like to just lay out a map really quick, it's super easy.
Does it have what built-in assets does it have? Does it have like medieval, futuristic?
Yep.
You know,
it has
barrels and
it has
shit?
a bunch. Yeah, it has all that. But a lot of them are like hand-drawn stuff too. But it also it even goes back to like old school D&D stuff and like old school like pen and paper hand-drawn stuff too. It has, like I said, it has hand-drawn assets. It has very vectory assets for your very clean look if you want. It took me about an hour of mucking around with it to figure out everything. But I mean, it's not super hard. Once you figure out how to use walls, it's kind of easy. There's a bit of a weirdness with scaling. I don't like how you can't scale textures like almost infinitely. It kind of only goes up to 200 times and down to negative 200.
And there's no publisher license option. It's just everybody
Yeah, it is. There's a sticky on their forum for the Steam Hub. It just literally says, "Can I use this for commercial use?" And they said, "Yes. Anything we have, you can use for commercial use. You can sell it as long as you're not selling it like individual assets." Who the hell would care? It's not really like they're super in depth. I don't know. It's just super simple, especially if you're a new publisher getting into this. You don't want to spend $1 million on like a big cartography program, and you're not willing to like go learn InDesign or hire someone for $1 million. It's awesome. You can do world build. They have stuff for like building world maps, for dungeon maps, town maps, all this stuff. Sci-fi one. I'm using the sci-fi assets. Actually, I built a bunch of assets today to do ship cartography for stuff, but they have examples of it too.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, go to Borrow's Pizza.
And consider it.
But yeah, it's definitely worth taking a look at. I mean, again, $15. You can do a lot. You can do a lot worse for testing out a project. And I bring it up because they're still in early access. I think they're coming out at the end of this month, maybe. That's what
Release
they said.
date February 26, 20. Oh, I don't know. That's I guess when they put it on Steam.
Yeah, that's when they put it on there. On the forums, they were talking about June or July. Oh, hey, welcome back, Alex. June or July release date for that, so I'm kind of interested to see where that goes.
You're talking about Dungeon Painter's Studio, which is looking like a pretty handy map making program for $15 on Steam.
Commercial use, man.
Publication.
Yeah.
Oh, so it can be used for professional use.
Oh yeah, there's literally like a bunch of threads, and one of them just got sticky, and it was just like, can I use this for commercial stuff? And it was just, yes, whatever you want to use this for, you can publish it, you can sell it. I don't care. Go do it. That's what we're here for.
I don't know. So what I've been doing is basically the Marge Simpson dress model, where I make assets that I like and I gradually improve them each time, and then I will change them as needed if I'm like, okay, well, this building can become a gadget on the table of this mad scientist, you know, and so on and so forth. So I don't know. I mean, I'll take a closer look at that, but I don't know if that'll be for me. It does look neat though, and like I'll put a link in the YouTube. There's a quick video where they fast build something. You can see how they go about it. It's pretty sweet.
One thing is, like I said,
it's all grid based, right? It's point by point.
But you can turn off the grid scaling, or you can do it to half scales as well. The thing is though, I developed a bunch of assets that I'd used in other projects, and I tossed them in there real quick. Literally, you can just go ahead and just do add asset, clunk chunk. You may have to resize it a little bit because it's like each grid space is like 200 by 200 pixels. But if you just take those assets you already have and just literally browse, click, done. You just have them in your library now. You can just go ahead and make everything you want.
One of the sneakier things I've been doing is I'll find like the map of historical Japanese fort or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I use as like the map to outline the dungeon, and I'll put stuff inside. But like I try to find like some kind of something where somebody who actually knew what they were doing and had a purpose beyond a combat map was like, this is how the building needs to be, and then I work from there.
I used the a map asset from World War II in the how many people bought it, but
there's a lot of really good map assets. From World War
Sky's
II.
the limit. One of the backgrounds of the pages is actually, you see like this cool like aerial like navigational map. It's actually the defense of Japan from Japan. Like in World War II, like defending the main island against bombing attacks. And I had to like highlight, like, because it was like, it's like sketchy like in the background. So I had to like remove names and stuff so people wouldn't notice.
So is this an online app type thing, or is this a software that you download?
It's software you can download, but it's Steam, so I mean it's like, go ahead and download it to every computer you have, but log into Steam, so it's only one user.
What's Spheres of Might? I think we talked a little bit about Spheres of Might when we had Adam on
I
it.
imagine.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely did. And I've mentioned it before too, but...
Are you playtesting it? And what are your thoughts as a playtester?
Oh, I am not playtesting it. It's more of something that I've had as a passing interest. And was it Spheres of Power, the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one was super awesome. Granted, I was looking for... Since that came out, I was crossing my fingers for a couple of years that they would expand that to martial combat. So I'm just excited to see that they're doing that. But if you guys already covered it, I don't have anything.
No. By all means, let us know what your thoughts on it.
Oh,
Have you looked it over? Or?
I gave it a little bit of a look over, just kind of noticing that there's covers everything in martial combat. Like, you know, there's a boxing sphere, a shield sphere, even like a scoundrel sphere. So I guess I'm glad to see it's not just going to be like, I don't know, stuff usable for insert human greatsword fighter user.
Yeah.
So
There's not like a tripping sphere. It's more nuanced than that.
Sweet.
yeah, definitely.
I like the thematic stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff for Adam, but he always has me do like campaigning and adventure things, and then whenever Spheres gets involved, it's just his business, and because he knows it better than I do. So like, why would I even?
Yeah, but I know that he's super meticulous about that stuff. So
Yeah.
That's what makes him a good designer. Let's say I
Yeah,
just got commissioned for her freelance project, which I'll see if I can talk about next week maybe, or the week after. And I was just like, he's just like, don't write the mechanics, just write the lore. I'm like, all right, you know,
Yeah.
1,500 words, here you go. I got two more. I have two more ideas if you want. And he's like, yeah, definitely.
I got to do my race mechanics because I do a lot of races, and he didn't mess with me on that. I mean, he did have some pointers and like suggestions and stuff, and we worked a lot to get the Quasage, the airborne Zephyr people race down, because that was like a really weird one, and yeah.
it's kind of interesting. It seems like a lot of people operate in reverse, where they want to say, okay, give us your mechanics, and then I'm going to fluff it up to make it appropriate for whatever consistent world or whatever somebody has under their publisher name.
So
I always try to do it tied together. I always try to do it tied together. Like I'd feel like I've done a lot of development and stuff where I fix other people's material, but like I don't know. I never just turned over all the mechanics. I always try to tie it in with the like theme of what I'm doing. So I don't know. It'd be weird.
So that's a big thing with me. I have this thing I call lore mechanics. Mechanics are part of the lore is part of the mechanics, and if it's not the same damn thing, you're doing it wrong. That's my opinion.
It should be a thematic and reinforce what you're trying, like the kind of story you're trying to tell.
Yep. So
I think it'd go without saying, but
no, dude.
it does.
I have people turn in things going, here is a class, and they will show me some mechanics. And I go, what's the lore? And they go, I don't know. It's a guy who does, this magic. And I'm like, come on, man. Give me something unique, something fun. Oh my God, sell me on this. Because it's like, okay, let's say you're doing...
Prestige classes.
Oh, I love prestige classes, actually. I mean, that's another debate, but I love thematic cohesion.
They're
I
usually
love
more
them too,
lore
but they
heavy.
were poorly done.
Yep.
Too often poorly done.
But yeah, I like the idea of lore mechanics. I've written about it extensively. I've talked about it extensively. The idea is like, you can't. Your mechanics should inform your lore, which should inform your mechanics, which is the whole cycle. And if you're not doing both, I don't want your goddamn thing. Like, I've had people pitch me with stuff, I'm like, well, it's the lore, and they eventually are just like, it's really weak and pathetic. I'm like, come on, man, sell me on this. I mean, I'd rather someone sell me on the lore, and then I just kind of know what the mechanics are. So I go, oh yeah, sure, I get how that's going to work. Like, when we wrote the Multi-Man, we talked about how, like, which is, like, the clone dude, we talked about how, like they learn stuff, there's, like, an art learned from, like, blink dogs and oozes and stuff, and, like, here's how they learned it, and here's how they do the dancey thing, or the Davadi with their weird, like, martial arts that take place in, like, nth dimensional space and weird stuff. And it's like, you gotta be weird, you gotta love your lore. I mean, I wrote the lore for Kashun, and I was like, what do I have a mechanic, I have the lore, how do I shove these together? Because they're already part of it, you know?
Let's talk about thematic attributes for a second.
Yeah, definitely.
I love thematic attributes. So if you really want a theme to be important in your game, make it an attribute. It's instantly as important as strength and charisma and wisdom and one of the fundamental foundations of the game. Yeah, it will always be in the minds of your players. It's like right there up on the top of your character sheet. Like, yeah, big fan of thematic attributes.
Hey, Mike, have you done that with your recent Kickstarter?
I have.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that at the end. Yeah, Sanctity and Sin.
Yeah, but say, so you have tied that right in, yeah.
It's about being, like, evil in a world where everybody's good, so you have to, like, hide the fact that you're evil, and that's how high your sanctity score, how good people think you are when they look upon you. And then your sin is how actually evil you are and grants you, like, access to sin points, so you do terrible things. And then, the higher your sin gets, the more evil you are, and once you hit a certain point, you transform into this, like, hideous, freakish monster, and it basically has to become, we either do combat raids, or somebody has remained human enough to be a face.
The other thing you can do with that kind of is really embrace your class design, ascribe resource to it. So if, like, we did the Craven, which was a class based around greed, and money and material stuff, and their resource was literally like greed and stuff.
I have a class called Scrapper. Guess what that one's about? You know.
Yep. But yeah, so tying thematic elements that you find important to mechanics, I think is just like the epitome of how awesome you can do stuff. That also ties in with the rule of cool, though. If your game is a game involving 80s heavy metal cover inspired jumping off the cliff with the goddamn, battle axe guitar, you better reward your damn players for that. Don't penalize them.
It took like 20 iterations before we finally got like the Missive Akuma samurai dash past somebody and strike them swiftly move, that you see in anime all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like I started with one, and then over the course of 2 months it changed like 12 freaking times before it was like this is it, we're done, there's no more changing it, like this is you cannot possibly interpret this another way. Like this has to be, you run by, you hit them, you run by, you're away from them, hit actually happens, it becomes a critical hit, blood spurts everywhere, like anime.
Nice.
Yeah, you never want to hype up somebody on a theme and then have them open up the class and go, oh, I can't do this thing that I think about when I hear this name.
Exactly.
The samurai.
I remember way back when one of our early things, we released The Judge, I think it was, in Law and Order. The artwork was this big badass dude with like a big book and like a big hammer and like in full plate with like, you couldn't see his eyes, he's a big badass. And you couldn't wear full plate. And I'm like, oh my god. We updated that thing like that. It was like, the guy was like, I got the perfect bit of artwork. I'm like, oh, it's gorgeous. And I put it in the book, and then like the reviewer was like, you can't, I wanted to play that. That was cool. I'm like, yeah, you can. Got it.
I'm going to get to make like 20 art orders, and every single one of them is going to have some kind of gadget that I'm going to get a single frame of, and yeah. I'm thinking like grappling guns, motorcycles. What else can I figure out? Radio? Yeah, radio, yeah.
Yeah, there's been a million times where I'll send in an art order for a concept, and the artist might misinterpret what I say, or I just do a bad job of communicating it, or I just give them the right amount of freedom. Mm-hmm. And there's a good like 80% chance they'll take a concept and make it way cooler, like with the full plate thing. And yeah, I don't think you don't have any choice but to change the image.
This was the first professional piece that I commissioned, and it was from an Italian guy, and it took 20 emails before he actually understood what I wanted. But can you see that it is a river made of like orc or troll blood, and they're all in torture devices?
Kinda. It's not very good.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. If you go check out Mysterious Peaks of Baranthar on the internet, the way it sounds, Baranthar, you can find it. But yeah, it the first couple things that came in, I was just like, what the hell does he think I mean? and hyperlinking pictures and stuff, and he's like, oh, I see now. This makes way more sense. And then the next thing I sent him came back. I was like asking for craggy ice cliffs, and what I got was the bottom of a very tall dungeon tunnel, which I worked with. But yeah, it was weird.
We have some very specific guidelines on our commission. We have an art form that we use. I'm sure you guys have something similar. And one of them is like at one of the bullet points, we have like a diversity thing. We have a note. And it's like, if you guys see something that's really cool, if you have a really cool idea, go for it. Doesn't matter what else I have said, go for it. If you're just like, this thing needs a great sword with like spikes and like a dragon head, yeah. I wasn't a part of it before, but I want to see what you guys have, because a lot of times they visually can tell something that's connected to a theme, and they can enforce that theme. That it's like, yeah, they can't use great weapons right now, but now they can.
Yeah, and you've been staring at mechanics and all that for so long that they come in and they can see the bigger picture better as an artist.
Oh yeah, totally.
I give them 1 or 2 pieces. I always make sure that when I order a batch, it's like there's at least 2 pieces where it's all them, and they just get to decide what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because I want them to have fun. But no, man, I'm way more specific for most of the stuff I order. I'm like, this is what it is. We need to get this, and I'll come back to it, and like I'll massage it and like be polite and you know, so I'll drag it out to like 3 weeks. Be like, okay, well, let's work on this other piece, and I'll let them, you know, establish their, you know, artistic whatever on that one, and then once they feel better, I'll be like, okay, well, now that we're done with that, can we go back here and make that into a ray gun? Because I really need that to be a ray gun for the following reasons.
Oh yeah, there are, what we always include are a list of things you cannot change in our book. Yeah. In our art orders, sorry.
That's a good idea.
So it's like, we need this. You can have freedom with everything else. And we actually make mention a lot of times, like, we don't care what race this is. We don't care what gender, age, whatever this is. Go have fun with it. But then there's times where it's like, no, this has to be a Maul of the Titans. This has to be. You know? That's actually for the collector. But yeah, do we want to talk about the next thing?
Thank you, Computer Smurf, for finding the Baranthar image, because it does look way better when you look at it on the screen.
There you go. Do you want to link it? So
I love that. Logically consistent river of blood. It makes me so unbelievably happy. All right. Pathfinder and Starfinder news and speculation. As usual, we have this awesome, well, not as usual, but as recently, somebody on the Paizo boards found this amazing document that covers all the Starfinder info so far. So people in the chat, boom, and I'll include that in the YouTube as well.
Thank us later, guys.
I have been so flooded with work, I have not looked at anything this week. So tell me about themes and character creation in Starfinder.
That's it. I didn't put that one up.
Oh, that was me?
Yeah, that was you. I have the archetypes up.
I was a little confused there. Like,
yeah, I'm like,
Mike, I did read this. Okay, no, hold on. I read this. Basically, it's like backgrounds from 5e, but in Starfinder. The ace, pilot, bounty hunter, icon, mercenary, outlaw, priest, scholar, spacefarer, xenoseeker, and themeless. Yeah. So, although it looks like it's a little bit more potent because it comes up first level, 6th level, 12th, and 18th level. So.
Yeah, it's no longer just a background, it's something that you can develop throughout the campaign, which I think is super cool. Something I might like convert to Pathfinder for myself.
You look up Time to Start on Facebook. I think the last thing I posted was about how you do character creation, and you literally get 2 classes that you level up in simultaneously. Because I found out that way you get these permutations where you can make anything. Floating ball of light, king of wolves, first artificial intelligence, medic from 1860, Starfleet captain. So that's cool, and I approve. obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then you did read about the Starfinder archetypes.
I
didn't read anything about. So tell me about them.
So the Starfinder archetypes they're gonna be a little bit different. Instead of being like you're a fighter and then you have a subclass kind of that replaces mechanics, they are classless. You replace stuff at what is it? 2nd, 4th, 6th, 9th, 12th, and 18th. So they give up a set class feature at those levels for a specific benefit at those level. So it's like every class you could be. Doesn't matter if you're like one of the magic users or one of like the scouts. You can kind of, or infiltrators, what it's called. You could swap that out for whatever that archetype is. It's just a stronger theme. I don't remember the examples they used, but
I think the Forerunner might have been the example they posted.
I just remember it's kind of cool. It's like archetypes are not tied to a specific class anymore. They're tied to any class you want to do, which I thought was kind of cool. Who did something like that?
It's something that I think will make class design for third-party people a little bit difficult because you're going to have to make classes in mind that every archetype is going to have to be able to work with it, and that the 2nd, 6th, 8th, so on level ability is going to have to be comparable and replaceable, and that'll be interesting.
Or just develop archetypes.
That too.
There was something in it was a third-party developer. I don't want to say it was LPJ, but it might have been. That has that for Pathfinder as well. Something with replacing it to get some abilities. I can't remember a lot about it, but I remember that it's on the D20 PFSOD. There's something with a samurai thing on it, which was kind of cool way back when.
Is that the thing like the Black Snake or whatever? That it's like an archetype for every class?
Yeah, it was something like that. There were a bunch of them on there. I think it's a cool concept. It's your character class is going to be less and less important. I feel like you're going to have your background. What's mechanically relevant. You're going to have your you can lose my hand in there.
It was from Super Genius Games. Says Computer Smurf.
Super Genius Game, yeah. So you're going to have your background, your archetype, your class, your race is playing a big part of it. So that's like 4 things, and your class is only 1/4 of it, kind of. Gives you kind of a template, but...
What the title of that thing was?
What?
Because it would be funny if Owen wrote it, because...
It might be, actually.
Oh, yeah. Highly likely.
Let me look it up while you talk about something else.
Alright, you look that up. And Computer Smurf said that Owen did write it, so there's probably, there might be a connection there.
Yeah.
It is called Adept Godling.
Oh, no, not that thing, not that thing. There was
Adept Godling archetypes? No?
I think Black Snake is one of them. Maybe I'm going crazy.
One of them is called Yuxia, and Black Snake is
Yeah, it was the Wuxia one. That was it. Wuxia stuff. I remember it was that.
Well, it's spelled with a Y. It's
Yuxia. Yeah. That's it right there.
Yeah, martial archetypes by Owen.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I remember the Spellhammer and the Yuxia. Yeah, and it shows you what you replace with it. And it was... Yeah, that was Owen. That was Super Genius and Owen at the time.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Archetype packages. Yeah.
Yep, archetype packages is what it was called. I dig it, man. See?
There we go.
Keeping the ball rolling.
First time here, Professional Goblins. Design Insights. What?
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, but
what's Pathfinder Legacy of the First World?
So that was it actually came out I think last month. We just never talked about it. It's a companion book about Fae. I didn't get a chance to read it yet. But hey, all the Fae. I love Fae. I love messing with players with Fae because even the good ones are not nice. They're mischievous and fun. I actually did a game where we called down the Wild Hunt in the middle of a game. We just had them all descending from the sky, thousands of them. They're like, oh god. But yeah,
Halfling, you have fly speed, and you can play them as characters. That's not PFS legal, is it?
I don't know. I said I saw the thing. I was reading the description. It's pretty cool. If you like Fae, go check it out.
So many design meetings where they're like, "Do not give players flight for 5th level." I don't. How many times I've heard them say that.
I once gave something glide speed. That's about it. But yeah, Legacy of the First World, kind of cool. I mean, if you guys know the lore with the gnomes and stuff in there, they have a kind of cool lore with that. I'm really pumped to see how that works. Again, that's a book I might actually pick up because I really do like Fae.
Yeah, Fae are definitely neat. I like Fae a lot.
The other thing is that Pathfinder has a few pocket-sized editions of their books. That's news to me. They put out the APG and the Game Master Guide, so I assume there's a core rulebook somewhere.
Yeah, that came out last PaizoCon, like the one before this one. Yeah.
But these ones are coming out soon, so...
it was quite a feat, because it's a big book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are they, like, condensed rules, or just, like, short versions of it, or is it just
Oh,
smaller?
no, they're just tinier prints.
Oh, okay.
So the core rulebook's kind of more like a cube.
Yeah.
You have to have really big pockets, but still.
Funded.
Mike's pretty excited. He's funded right now.
Well, Steph just came downstairs.
So yeah, nothing else really on that front. You guys want to talk about anything Fifth Edit related?
You want to talk about Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Alex? So what do you talk about Xanathar?
Well, not really. I just saw that it was news.
Yeah.
I guess it's cool to see that. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that this is the first hardback that they're doing that includes like additional player options and such. It seems like
the monster, the doo-doo-doos, whatever it was, Volo's Guide to Monsters. Yeah, they had some player options for like playing as bugbears and shit like that,
which is fun.
But not. This is gonna have like all the Unearthed Arcana class
stuff.
options. Yeah. Feats, backgrounds, that kind of thing.
So I guess this is the first step towards inevitable bloat, which is fun.
Oh no, they've been very, very cagey about the whole thing to control the bloat.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Kind of.
I mean, it's good to hear, but it's bad to hear because Mike, is that OGL?
It will not be on the SRD or anything that we professional publishers can interact with.
I know, right?
And will probably be relegated to more of the Notice Me Senpai DM's Guild stuff going on.
Yep.
Cool.
Which is good for like about a dozen people, I think it is.
For some reason
they're
they don't
nice
like
people
it.
too. Yeah, I mean, like it's well, they take half your profit. So like Drive Through RPG takes 35, right? With DM's Guild, it's 50. You give up ownership of all your content when you upload something to it. It becomes DM's Guild content. More. Yeah, and then that's the official D&D marketplace. So people are even less inclined to take you seriously. It's pretty crazy. But
yes.
We've had our problems with this on the few previous ones because that is a pretty nasty one.
I maintain that Wizards of the Coast wants to drive the actual RPG part of D&D to the ground and just turn it into a stamp for licensing. I maintain this. Not Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro. I think Hasbro wants to do that. Wizards of the Coast probably realized that would be insane. But
crazy. I was crazy once. So next on the list, we got Kazakhstan has its first gaming convention. I know that's kind of weird, but it's also kind of awesome. They were
definitely awesome.
Yeah, they were.
How many people?
A whole 8, man! A whole 8 people. This many. And they had 8 people, 2 games running, I believe. And I think there's a quote somewhere in there that says, "Give us 10 years and we'll be as big as Gen Con." And I'm like, man, really positive cleric approves. Really positive cleric thinks that you guys really have what you got. That's some really good chutzpah. I really like it. It'll carry you far, but I don't think you're gonna make it. No, but I do think it's awesome that they do have one. There's some pictures up there. I'll put them on the screen here.
It's at a public building and not just some guy's kitchen then?
Yeah, I mean the pictures actually look like it's like legit. Like maybe it was. I put it on the screen here.
Like a rec center, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Since my bookmarks tonight, yay.
Probably.
All my hardcore, weird bookmarks. No, nothing too weird. But yeah, again, Kazakhstan, go guys, keep going. If you guys want to fly us out there, we'll be there. We'll do a live podcast. What do you think, Mike? All right, I will come out there.
Where I want to go.
I will come out there. Oh, Alex has died again. So let's see. No other media of interest. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah?
I can't think of anything like we already talked about Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
I mean that Mummy movie came out and is supposed to be terrible.
The world shrugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. My friend Coleman had on his Facebook page. They had a big promotional thing out here in Phoenix, I guess. Maybe it's because we have desert. I don't know. But it was like the actual like tomb, like the mummy, like sarcophagus, like giant size, like lit up and looked gold and stuff. But I hear it was a really, 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 really bad movie. That's one I'm gonna rent in like 5 years and go. Can we just bring Brendan Fraser back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No comment.
Wonder Woman, we already talked about Wonder Woman, which is awesome. Go see it if you haven't seen Wonder Woman yet.
Go.
Guess I should.
You should.
What,
it was
Alex?
really good.
Go see it. Get off this
Okay.
podcast right now and go see it.
Okay, I'm going now.
See you later,
There's
Alex.
no
Mike,
right.
we've got this till the end. 2 hours and Mike will be back, and Alex will be back. We'll be fine.
I'll give you guys a review until midnight.
We're sitting there waiting, like, oh my god. Oh god, Alex is back. What do you think? It was pretty good. All right, now we can die happy. But what do you guys think? Kickstarters, Mike. I hear you have one that you might be involved with.
Yes, the Book of Exalted Darkness is on the Kickstarter right now, and we're finishing on Saturday, and we just funded like an hour ago. And immediately after this, I'll be crafting an update and going to tell the rest of the internet. It's awesome. It's a Holy Decapunk campaign setting where like the good guys won, and then they built this beautiful like 1920s level era civilization based on this stuff called Inequa. That powers their like cars and motorcycles and guns and stuff like that. But the energy it gives off elongates the life of good creatures, and thus is kind of a natural injustice against anyone who's evil, and gives you some justification to be evil and wreck the world.
Evil by
and the rest of the book.
their standards, right?
Oh no, like vile evil.
Ah, okay.
I mean, like there's some options for neutrality, but no, my focus is on evil. So there's like a feat called Blood of Infants.
Oh,
where
wow.
You get bonuses for bathing in the blood of infants or wearing the hides of infants.
Fantastic.
Not specifically baby infant like humans, but if you do baby humans, because that is extra evil, you do get extra bonuses. So the game incentivizes you to be evil.
So, Mike, you were using the frame Inequa. Is there some background to that? Is that from a different language? Is that something that?
No, I just came up with the word because I think I
word?
pulled it from Latin. A lot of the stuff I'm pulling from Latin because that's the feel I want for the place. So Inequa is, I think, Latin for unequal.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of the idea, right? It's a good society, and it's just not necessarily a lawfully good society. It's just like a neutral good society.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, and you play evil characters that band together, working with mad scientists to undermine and destroy society. And you can use your evilness to pervert their Inequa stuff and cause it to like explode or overcharge and then burn out, and so on and so forth. And then we also unlocked a book for playing good characters. So if you like the idea of the setting and so on, and then Indy's illustrious artwork, which is amazing, then you can pledge to get the Book of Celestial Heroes, which will be a 120-page book instead of a 180-page book. And it'll be about preserving the 9 spheres of Ascus, which are like the major...
I still love Ascus.
I know, right? Well, it wouldn't work for any other setting, but the name of the world is Ascus in the Book of Exalted Darkness because that's the idea.
Beautiful.
But yeah, you defend the 9 spheres of Ascus as heroes, and check it out. It's awesome. We just funded. We're going to start doing stretch goals now. The first one is Shadow of the Demon Lord conversion.
Nice.
Which I'm super excited about.
So,
and then hopefully we'll hit Pathfinder, but Pathfinder will specifically only be the Book of Celestial Heroes because they would not let me publish the Book of Exalted Darkness as a Pathfinder book.
So kind of an update on the Kingmaker one. They are at 424,228 out of their $500,000 goal. They got over 8,000 backers, and they have almost a month left to go. 27 days left. That's pretty awesome. They're going to fund. I backed it. Back it yourself. It'll be awesome. Hey, welcome back, Al. Oh, Alex came back, and then he left.
Got to talk about Alex this Kickstarter.
I know. we'll have Alex go
He's
ahead.
probably freaking out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, I should mention there's 3 free PDFs for Book of Exalted Darkness now. Originally there was Killing the Golden Twins adventure, and then the Evil Primer, and now there's also the Mad Scientist class.
So while we wait for Alex, do we want to touch on something else?
Varanthia Codex, all the rewards for the Varanthia Codex collection just went out.
Yeah.
Which means that sometime soon Owen will be dropping like 9 revised or new Varanthia titles for Pathfinder, which are all awesome, including one that happens on the back of this huge, like, gargantuan. Don't give away too much.
Creature.
Crustacean of some kind in an underwater city, and it's crazy. It's awesome. It's
Alex,
for high level
back
characters.
with us? Maybe. He is currently on my screen, frozen with his fingers like this. So it's pretty cool. I don't know if he.
He's wondering what we're talking about his Kickstarter. Well, let's. Hey, perfect. Tell us about your Kickstarter, man. We've been talking about the other ones.
Alex, you there?
I think I'm back.
I can hear you.
Sound
How's
like
that?
You're back.
There you go. So yeah, tell us about your
Yeah,
your Kickstarter. I kind of pitched it a little bit last week, so tell us what it's all about, man.
Yeah, sure thing. I do have a totally legit print proof that's not a piece of paper glued onto a book right here.
It totally isn't.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a flimsy cover is all. Yeah, to put it quite simply, it's, let's see where we're at now. Yeah, 90 recipes that both you and your character can make, kind of written in a, shall we say, grandma-style recipes where
Awesome.
it's, crack 2 eggs, throw them into a pan until they're cook types, simply because of space, and people like throw it on medium-high for 5 minutes or so.
Beautiful.
But yeah, anyways, we hired, I believe, 5 people to write for the book. They're all 5 of them are from a different country. Japan,
cool.
South Africa. I'll say Puerto Rico is a different country.
Sure.
New York.
New York is a different country too.
It is too, yeah. And Italy. And basically had all these people bring on roughly 15 to 20 home recipes that they, make at home. Stuff like, well, I should know this off the top of my head.
Is there a good
creamed
ramen
spinach.
recipe in there?
Is there a what?
Good ramen recipe in there? Because that's my next thing. I figured out how to make fried rice. Like, I can make really good fucking fried rice in my kitchen.
It might be in the stretch goal where we include Fruit Loops and.
And what? Alex, don't leave us hanging, man.
No.
Oh my God! Did he die?
Dude.
Oh God! He died in the middle of.
A serious problem in my life. I need to learn how to make better ramen at home. Like, it's a goal. Like, no.
Oh, he keeps freezing, man. He's gone. Alex, man, come back to us. So while we're seeing if Alex is going to come back here, the Kickstarter is at, what is it at? It is overfunded right now. It is at $2,156 out of $1,500 goal, 98 backers, and 17 days to go. This is a book that is already funded. You guys can just pick it up when it's done. Alex does great work. This is something that any character can use as long as you have a few ranks in, was it profession cooking? Profession chef?
Yeah. That is, by the way, the Culinary Magic Cookbook Kickstarter by Flaming Crab Games.
Yep, if you guys haven't seen
Alex
it,
Shanks-Abel.
it's so much fun. We have our battle chef we did way back when. I'm really interested to see how this comes out. That'll be a lot of fun. So, Mike, you want to wrap, or you want to see if Alex is going to come back here?
Do we hunger? I don't know.
I hunger.
Blackmore.
I hunger. I'm on a goddamn diet. I hunger all the time.
I am back to smoking cigarettes because I'm working 70-hour weeks again. But, so not a lot of hungering for me, actually, lately. A lot of appetite suppression, but...
Let's say I'm on 1550 calories a day, and oh my god, I've dropped 5 pounds in 2 weeks, but also, oh my god, I would love to eat something right now. After this, I will actually be.
I'd love to eat something right now too.
But we better have a celebratory meal because you hit that Kickstarter, man.
I think I might actually drink tonight. I normally don't drink because I can't write and drink, but
Yep.
I might drink anyway.
That's it. I got some writing to do tonight after this is done. I got 2 things, about 3,000 words I'm going to hopefully get out tonight.
Actually, you know what? I should work. I brainstormed most of the holy archetypes, and I made notes, but I need to like make those in a proper worded thing so the playtest is ready.
I have some races I want to write up tonight. I had like this idea I wanted to write, and I just got like a brainstorm right before we came on. I'm like, oh, shoot, I gotta go do that. So I may not be drinking either tonight, though I don't actually drink that much. I can't even think of the last time I got drunk.
Oh,
I got like beers.
I guess I could say the Pony Finder guy sent me a thing.
Oh God, Alex, you're back as the horse. Oh my God, I thought you were really a horse.
It's just temporary. Well, I should have written a recipe or something that allowed the transformation into a horse.
You still can.
But I'm thinking about it.
So Alex,
was that a horse or a pony? Just for clarification.
My sources tell me, well, being a biologist, this is definitely a horse.
It's a horse, of course.
You know,
it's not a mini. It's a proper sized horse.
Yeah, it's a life-sized horse.
Fantastic.
Well, minis are life-sized.
There's life-sized.
Depending on who you ask.
I mean, that looked like kind of a mini head to me. I don't know. Horses have really big freaking heads.
It's a perspective thing. My head is massive, so.
Come to the Professional Goblins Games podcast. We talk about the scale of horse masks.
I know, man. I used to work on a horse farm. I feel like that might have been a mini horse or pony mask.
I think you're really underestimating the size of my head.
Alright, all I can say is we need to have now a measuring tape. We need to get actual dimensions and compare it to horses. I think this could work.
So this right here, that's by feet.
Okay.
I don't know if I trust him to make this measurement. I feel like he might.
This is roughly 14 feet long.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
I totally believe that, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like you're overfunded too on your Kickstarter. That's pretty exciting. So guys, go back
soaring
it.
to stretch goals.
Yeah, go back it, guys. It's a guaranteed thing. I mean, Alex, I'm assuming you already got a lot of it written and done before the Kickstarter even went up, right? Oh, we lost Alex again.
Jesus, Alex.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up then.
Yeah.
Oh. He's back.
Maybe.
We're wrapping up.
All right, we're gonna wrap up. So anyway, once again, Alex, thanks for joining us today. Check out his Kickstarter. Check out Mike's Kickstarter.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely, man. You and your horsehead clone were
thanks
were
to
pretty good.
everybody who backed my Kickstarter. You're awesome, and I look forward to seeing how far we go.
Oh yeah, guys. All right, guys. So this is Professional Goblins signing off.
Right on.